Welcome back to Crypto's Key Conversation. And today's video is going to be a little bit longer, and I want to start with this video clip right here. This is from Crypto Lulu here. If I'm saying that right, it says hashtag XRP is not an asset you sell. So let's take a listen into this.
Tell you right now, if I hypothetically held XRP, I wouldn't even sell it. Like that's to me, that's how valuable the asset is. I don't think this is an asset you sell. Okay. I think this is something that you hold on to until you die, and then you let it circulate through your family.
So we're going to let that carry us into the conversation today. We're going to start here with James K. Filan's update here. It says the court has granted the SEC's motion to extend the time for all parties to file reply briefs. Reply briefs are now due November 3rd, 2022, and the deadline for filing amicus briefs is November 11th, 2022. So I had put a comment down here above XRP Crypto Wolf. It says a race to the deadline. He says XRP Crypto Wolf says all the true Ripple and XRP supporters better hurry up and file their amicus briefs. So we'll see how many fall in. We have 12 so far. It's going to be quite interesting to see how they progress. He has an update here, a document. I think it's like a Word document that he had put up. He says a scheduling update as of November 4, 2022 with the date specific to the motions for summary judgment. So if we click in here and look at it really quick. Oh, that's too close. You're too close, man. So it says November 11, 2022, deadline for any additional amicus motions and briefs. November 30th, 2022, parties file summary judgment reply briefs temporary under seal. The page limit for these replies have been increased from 45 to 55 pages, and any response to the various amicus briefs must be contained in these replies. December 2nd is parties meet and confer to identify redactions sought by each side to the reply briefs. December 5th, parties file public redacted versions of reply briefs, making only those provisional redactions requested by the parties during the meet and confer. December 22nd, parties file omnibus motions to seal all materials relating to the summary judgment motions, including, let me move on here. It says including briefs, rules, 56.1 statements, and counterstatements, declarations, and supporting exhibits. Parties also file proposed redactions to such materials. And then January 9th, parties file oppositions to omnibus motions to seal. And then he has some more stuff about the Dalbert challenges and stuff. So shout out James K. Filan for always updating the community. And if I come down here, he says, I'm sticking to my prediction that District Judge Torres will decide both the expert motions and the summary judgment motions at the same time on or before March 31st of 2023. So there's been that prediction of like this, if this thing really does go to distance, this is kind of what we're looking at. Also, Johnny Deaton said something along the lines of, the latest of like, I think he said like June 30th of 2023. So it's going to be a waiting game to kind of see what happens. We know that we are kind of, getting toward the tail end of things here. So there's obviously some light at the end of the tunnel finally. Moving on here, Jeremy Hogan had put up this. He says, Ripple versus SC case. It's more complicated than a win or loss. There are 4 ways a legal case is resolved. 1, dismissal, which we passed that stage. 2, settlement. 3, summary judgment. And 4, trial. The final resolution is trial, but any piece of a case can be resolved before then. So he comes down and he says, 1, any piece of the Ripple case can be settled and the remainder left to be tried. Ripple has stated it wants clarity for XRP token moving forward and that the piece could be settled with, and the issue of Ripple's past sales could move forward to summary judgment or trial. At summary judgment, the judge can rule on any piece of the case and leave the remainder for trial. Example, the judge could rule that no sales of XRP after implementation of Ripple's ODL use for XRP were securities, and everything prior to that will be left for trial. Another example would be the judge could decide that all sales were securities and leave the issue of damages and scienter of the individual defendants for trial. Also, yes, the judge could rule no sales were of securities, and that covers all the pieces. Thought I'd throw that out there, he says. He continues. Ripple has requested that fair notice offense issues not be decided at summary judgment, but left for trial. This would, of course, only occur if Ripple loses on the securities violation issue, or at least a piece of it. He ends with this one. It says, point being, the Ripple case has at least 4 pieces to it, and it leads to about 24 different possible outcomes, which is kind of staggering to hear that. But he concludes, no doubt things are looking positive for Ripple, but do not be surprised if the judge issuing a ruling and it takes some time to figure out, did they win is the question. So for us, that's been accumulating and been a part of this community for years. I've been here since late 2017. There's people that's been here, way before me. We've been kind of going through the ebbs and flows of the markets, dealing with the negative narratives and all the people going against Ripple and the XRP community in general. So waiting a little bit longer really isn't the end of the world yet. It sucks to hear, but as long as things are made right and just and fair, we talk about leveling the playing field, getting the regulatory clarity we need. I mean, that's really all that matters at the end of the day. So we'll just kind of see. Only time will tell, and the truth shall set you free, and that's so true. This is from Crypto Law. It's Johnny Deaton's thing. It says, quote, he's referencing this valuewalk.com article. It says, looking back at the cautionary tale of William Hemon in his crypto, let me look in, it says, let me click in here. It says in his crypto speech. So coming over here, Crypto Law US says, quote, other documents that have gone public revealed that Hemon and his staff met with a third-party promoter of ETH and Consensus several times while the speech was being developed, as well as a group of venture capitalist investors in Ethereum. Continues, who presented him on a regulatory proposal that exclusively mentioned Ether. The revelations have angered tens of thousands of XRP holders who say they were innocent victims of the SEC's lawsuit versus Ripple, insisting they did not acquire XRP to invest in Ripple. Excuse me. And saw their holdings wiped out in value before being locked into wallets when trading in the token was suspended by exchanges out of fear of SEC retaliation. So this isn't anything new to us. Johnny Dean had made, I don't even know if I put it up here, but yeah, John Dean had made a good tweet about it, talking about, a lot of this information is stemmed from the solid work of the XRP community, standing together as a decentralized community as one to fight the good fight and servicing all of the bad actors and, their conflicts of interest, just their narrative of trying to get a monopoly on the market and trying to control things in their favor. It's all been serviced from them on video footage, them on audio clips, them in documentation. Nothing is unfounded speculation. Nothing is conspiracy theory. It's all facts that are not in dispute. And it's from the strong work of the XRP community and those in the surrounding communities that have, stepped up to fight the good fight. So there's nothing new to us, though. I wanted to bring this up. This is I guess you could say some FUD, some negativity within the market. This is from Max Kaiser. He's responding to Stuart Alderati's tweet the other day on the 3rd. It says, a dozen independent voices, companies, developers, exchanges, public interest, and trade associations, retail holders, all filing SEC versus Ripple to explain how dangerously wrong the SEC is. So he's talking about this is Ripple's general counsel talking about the briefs that have been filed, the 12 briefs that's been filed on behalf of Ripple in the litigation. And Max Kaiser says the SEC is right to shut down XRP as an unregistered security. Ultimately, the SEC will win for the obvious reasons. It's against the law to create and sell unregistered securities. All the semantics, word games, and logic contortions by XRPers won't change this. Remember, XRP/Ripple was always a shell game explicitly set up by Brad to elude SEC laws, and the deception held for years until the SEC took a closer look and figured out Brad's con. In the end, the SEC will win. He said, crap's going to zero against Bitcoin. So with that being said, Jeremy Hogan had put up a comment saying, it's amazing that Brad could set up this elaborate plot over 3 years before he began working at Ripple. Bill has said something as well, too. He says, he forgot there is a court case in which the issue of whether XRP is a security is to be decided, and the SEC can't shut XRP down, whatever that means. Only the court can make orders. He must have confused the U.S. with some country without the rule of law. I mean, it's crazy. So you talk about unfounded speculation and conspiracy theories. I mean, there's one. I mean, where's the facts? We can show you facts in the Ethereum Free Pass timeline, the ETHgate scandal timeline. We can show you. It's not in dispute. Where are your facts? That's literally all I commented. It's just crazy. And then Digital Asset Investor says, coordinated for years. So they're talking about it's insane how the crypto community is brainwashed by influencers to hate on XRP. And this is from Mr. Well and Digital Asset Investor. Yep. Enough said right there. So I wanted to play this. This is Johnny Dean and Tony Edward from Thinking Crypto. It says, What was the pivotal moment when the rest of the crypto community finally realized how high the stakes are in the SEC versus Ripple? So like, how big of an impact was or is the ongoing litigation between Ripple and the SEC, and how it can influence what happens to the rest of the crypto industry? We're gonna let Johnny Deaton explain it right now. Remember, he was right on day one of the lawsuit when Ripple was served the lawsuit from the SEC. He said it from day one. This isn't about Ripple and XRP alone. This is about the entire industry. Let's listen in.
I think the pivotal point for the community is, in fact, when Gary Gensler would not say Ethereum is not a security. Let's just all be honest about it, right? That's how I look at it. And when he said proof of stake, the merge implicated the securities laws in the United States, and he was only comfortable saying Bitcoin's a commodity, that's when everybody said, oh, okay, this really is a war on all of crypto, and therefore we have to fight it.
Yep. You gotta stand up and fight. And this is what I had commented. I said the war on all of crypto has been there from the beginning. John Deaton hit it on the head day one of the Ripple versus SC case. We're all blessed to have JD a part of the team. Absolutely. I mean, they didn't expect this community to come together like that. They didn't expect Johnny Deaton. They didn't expect, Jason Foster and Empower Oversight, and Charles Gasparino and Eleanor Terrett and the rest of the YouTubers and community members out there truly standing up and researching and fighting the good fight, sharing information, making videos. They did not expect the whole Twitterverse and just the whole social media platform members standing up for their rights. There's thousands of families like mine that have been affected by this. It's crazy, but we're here. And I got a couple of videos I want to play. So there's going to be one with Brad. I'm probably sure some of you saw it. We've posted this one from the notfinancialadvice.crypto, but it's going to tie into what we played early on with this gentleman here. So let's listen into this. This was Brad Garlinghouse right here.
Crypto is helping transform finance businesses today in a few different ways. And I think one of the challenges for the industry has been to focus on solving real problems for real customers. And Ripple, obviously, from its earliest days, focused on the problem around cross-border payments. That's a point of a lot of friction as measured by speed and cost. And by focusing there, we've been able to have a big impact on that, relatively small piece. But I think over the next years, you're going to see many financial transactions where a middleman sits, a middle transaction, an intermediary. Those will get removed, and we'll use blockchain and other digital asset type technologies to remove that friction. And I think all of society will benefit from improving the efficiency of those systems. I think you'll see that. Certainly, you've seen it in securities settlement as an opportunity. The financial transactions around bonds, around derivatives, a lot of these things take a while to settle, and the friction associated actually holds back the industry. Insurance is an industry I think you're going to see touched. Trade finance is an industry that really Ripple, some of our customers have invited us to participate in. And you've seen experimentation around identity in real estate and title management. And these are all examples where I think it's so hard to predict where this will go, in the same way that 25 years ago, when I first got involved in the Internet of Information, I never could have predicted on my smartphone I'd press a button and I'd have a car picking me up minutes later. I think this will permeate lots of different parts of our society.
Well said, Brad. Well said. So it's going to tie into this. And the reason why I'm putting this up, because it flows into what this gentleman is saying. It's like, this is not something you sell. Not saying that, I don't recommend anyone not take profit or anything. I'm definitely going to take some profit, but I'm definitely not selling my entire investment in the XRP. But someone in the community, I wouldn't say our community, other communities were talking about like, what's so important? Like, what's such a big deal about Ripple and XRP outside of yada, yada, yada? They only put up maybe one or two comments in regards of what it's capable of doing. And I just wanted to replay this video. I had sent them this video, but I wanted to replay this video because it has a bunch of examples of hey, open your eyes, pay attention. Don't be so jaded and clouded by, the lies or the negative narrative that you've been brainwashed with. Open your eyes, do some research yourself, and make your own decision. Let's play this.
Why do I hold XRP? Because Ripple's the chosen one to lead the new global digital payment system, and they use XRP. In 2013, the Federal Reserve began looking for faster payments options. 2 years later, an action plan was born and a federal payments task force was created. It included one company focused on crypto, Ripple. In 2014, the World Bank and Better Than Cash Alliance, which includes the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Clinton Global Initiative, and the governments of 32 countries, put out a report called The Opportunities of Digitizing Payments. 1 year later, the Better Than Cash Alliance featured one crypto company on their website, Ripple. Today, Better Than Cash Alliance and all other UN initiatives are focused on a single agenda, the Sustainable Development Goals for 2030. You can see the SDGs logo on Bill Gates' lapel, world-leading companies, the Better Than Cash Alliance website, and on the UN's official exchange, Exchange. What crypto is Exchange officially utilizing for their carbon credit solution? XRP. The world will move to a new international standard for exchanging electronic messages between financial institutions by 2025 called ISO 20022. Who was the first ISO 20022 member focused on distributed ledger technology? Ripple. Who's partnered with over 300 financial institutions, including Bank of America, American Express, PNC, Santander, SBI, HSBC, Standard Chartered Bank, Bank of England, India, Singapore, Scotland, Australia, and Indonesia, the largest banks in Japan, Canada, Egypt, the Middle East, United Arab Emirates, Thailand, Morocco, Bhutan, South Korea, Brazil, and Latin America? Ripple. Who is a former employee overseeing the Federal Reserve? Ripple. A former employee overseeing the world's largest asset manager, BlackRock's digital asset division? Ripple. Leading Australia's CBDC effort? Ripple. Who hired a former Treasury of the United States? Ripple. 2 former Federal Reserve attorneys to their board? Ripple. 2 former Clinton and Obama advisors, former Minister of Defense and Economics of Germany, former business director at Swift, former Swift board member, former CFO of PayPal, former head of the DTCC, former chief business officer at Uber, former VP of Amazon, and former SEC chair on their legal team? Ripple. Who's a member of the Digital Pound Foundation, Digital Dollar Project, Digital Euro Association, Mojaloop, IMF's high-level advisory board on fintech, Hyperledger Blockchain Consortium, Open Payments Coalition, Faster Payments Council, Global Payments Steering Group, Cross-Border Working Group, International Association for Trusted Blockchain Applications, Crypto Climate Accord, University Blockchain Initiative, Worldwide Web Consortium, and a featured partner of the World Economic Forum with 3 members of their team directly listed on the WF website? Ripple. Now, does Ripple and XRP sound like they're going to disappear, or do they sound like they're part of a much bigger plan?
You decide. And that's just going to play this again.
And sell it. Like that's to me, that's how valuable the asset is. I don't think this is an asset you sell. Okay. I think this is something that you hold on to until you die, and then you let it circulate through your family.
Make your own decision. Educate yourself, for the doubters out there. I'm not against researching and learning about other projects. I invest in several other projects. I just like to, vet projects myself and get as much information, take as much information as I can in. If I like it, make a sizable investment in it and go from there. That's what I have for you. Make sure you come to the Crypto is Key Conversation YouTube channel. Subscribe, follow us on Twitter at Crypto is Key 1. I genuinely appreciate you guys' support, man. I'm excited to see this community continue to grow. With all that being said, stay strong out there. Be safe.